Dr. Patrick Mbataru, thank you so much for joining the interview today. To what extent would you say are you personally affected by the COVID-19 as a virus, as a pandemic, but also by the different measures that have been undertaken to control the spread of the pandemic?
First, we are working online. I am a university teacher, and we've been forced to work online, to supervise online, but we are not teaching online, but hopefully we are going to start soon. And where I have a lot of students that have about 30 students. So I'm talking to every week. Where financially we have been hit hard. Everybody, the economy has been hit hard. So we are trying to readjust accordingly.
So you are a lecturer at Kenyatta University, which is one of the biggest public universities in Kenya. What has been done, like, by the university administration, for example? Have you still been able to give classes online? You were just mentioning that online teaching was not that easy. So how do you keep your students working? I mean, how is the teaching situation in general?
Well, I can't speak for Kenyatta University, but what is happening is that I have constant. Every day I have students that I'm supervising, which is a part of teaching. I have a list of students every day that I'm seeing in the morning and in the afternoon. Tomorrow, Wednesdays and Thursdays, we have students presenting their projects on Zoom. Yeah, that's it. Teaching, what happened is that the schools and universities were closed before exams. So that means technically they cannot go. They cannot go on to the next level. That's the thing. But we have a very vibrant online program. But where, because of the situation, we will still have to wait for the situation to open up so that we can go back to class.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if I understand you well, then this means that the crisis actually motivated you to reinvent material for courses, how you can follow your students online, how you can still be there for them. So it actually, you had to develop new tools and to be innovative.
Well, it is especially to use technology, because we already had the online programs that have been going on. But I think the university will ask us to. I think all universities in Kenya will have to go back to the drawing board and have most of their courses online ready.
What are your main concerns? But what are also maybe the lessons, the positive aspects that you draw from this period, both on a personal but also a professional level?
Well, at professional level, I have learned a lot how to use Zoom and Skype, and I'm actually finding it very, very convenient way of teaching, convenient way of supervising my students. Personally, I don't see why we should go back to so much physical interactions with the students, especially at supervision level. And I think a lot more of our work should be online. At personal level, I'm looking forward to doing much more online classes. Yeah. My concern is like anybody else, the financial implications of this lockdown on our the job security, as everybody is concerned that the economic implications of this pandemic may actually implicate, may have effect on our jobs, on our professions, and all that.
And maybe I add a last question, because I've also known you through my research, and I know that you have done quite some work on, for example, middle class in Kenya, and you have done research on urban development. So as a researcher, as a scholar, how do you see the current crisis with all its implications affect these broader socio-economic situations in the country?
Maybe I'll answer a question that you didn't ask, and this is your interest. What is the implication of the market, on land market?
It's up to you.
People are not buying land. You don't want to invest $100 or euros on land or any other investment when you are not very sure whether you'll have a job, whether you'll have an income. So people want to save. That is naturally people want to save. So I see few people coming up with projects on land, on real estate, build houses and all that. I mean, that's natural. But then there is at social level, well, there will be a very anti-urban emotion in the next couple of months. So you move from the city. Even when we open up, we move from the city to the rural area. People will ask whether you are bringing coronavirus to us. And I have just been told that there is a very critical follow-up of people coming from people sneaking out of the city in rural areas. So there is urban people mentality that is cropping up in the rural area. So there will be that divide. You are from Nairobi, therefore you must be having this virus. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mbataru. I think you have taken us through several aspects of the COVID-19 crisis in Kenya, and I think especially stressed the impacts on university and teaching styles. But also I find this last aspect very interesting, that actually instead of rural-urban migration, what we might have is more of a urban-rural migration, because people would head back to the villages.